Are you using your nail art brushes the right way? A brush is the most common tool to use when doing any type of hand painting nail art. Hand painting and nail art is something that not all techs do, unfortunately, but with the right set of tools, you'll be surprised how much easier the process can be. So our art brushes come in many different sizes and shapes. Each actually have a different purpose. How you use your own brush can vary from person to person, but knowing which brush to grab to achieve a certain look or a certain design will definitely help any type of beginner out. So before I get into all the different types of brushes and what they're going to be used for, let's break down some of the components of a nail art brush. So the first thing we want to talk about, I have a nail brush right here, and what we're going to talk about is the very end or the tip. So this is called the tip or the chiseled edge. This very fine point that you see right where you would connect the brush to the nail. For a flat brush like this one, it's called the chiseled edge, and for a pointed one, we call it the tip. This very midsection of the brush, this is called the belly of the brush. So right after the tip, we have our belly of the brush. This is the part of the brush where it's going to hold the most paint. And that's going to be very useful information as you start to get into some type of line and detailed work. This little metal band right here that you see right here, this is called the ferrule, and this is what keeps the bristles in place. And then the area that meets the ferrule, which is this area right here, this is called the heel. So you'll notice that some brushes don't have this little extra piece, this ferrule piece that I mentioned. I do find that, let me see if I can grab. I was using, like for example, I have this Beetles brush right here. It just comes straight out. I do find that having a brush that has that extra metal band right here, it actually kind of makes your brushes a little bit more fine, a little bit more thin. And I do find that once I started using these brushes over the Beetle brushes, I was able to get a little bit more finer lines, especially when it comes to having a liner brush. So now that's something that I actually look for, and I don't really buy anything. I still use these, but I basically like them to have this little band right here because I know it's gonna make those bristles come in a little bit more. So how is it that we use some of these brushes? So actually the most common type of nail art brush is a round brush. This is good for holding a lot of paint. It has more of a rounded edge, it's very wide, and this is what we would call a round brush. Then we have a flat brush. So something like this just has a slanted edge, or it could be straight across, but a flat brush is actually useful when you're doing any type of blending or shading. Very different than an ombre brush. We're not talking about an ombre brush, but just a regular flat brush. Before ombre was created, this is what we use for shading and blending. The brush I was just showing you before, this is what we call a spotter or detail brush. So this is a short liner brush, and it's just that. It's good for a lot of detailed nail art. Then we have the more famous, I should say, liner brush. So this is your classic liner brush for the most part. Liner brushes can come in different sizes. Again, I have these. There's a set of like 8 of them, and they tell you how long they are. So for example, this one is 7 and then we have ones that go all the way up to 11 and so on. So you can buy a set of just liner brushes if you are somebody that likes to draw a lot. All these other brushes might not be useful for you. So again, knowing the type of nail art that you want to do and you're trying to achieve is important, because you don't need to spend money on packs of nail art brushes if all you're really doing is line work and all that stuff. Honestly, most of the time, most techs are using just liner brushes in different lengths. And these are very excellent for any type of lettering, outlining, again, any type of line work. And last, we have our striper brush. So this is a striper brush. You notice that it looks like a liner brush. Sometimes it will still come in a set like a liner brush, but the longest one is your striping brush. So this brush is amazing if you're doing any type of striping, maybe some type of animal print, or any other basically striping effects. It's very good. This is designed to basically make you not have to pick up your brush, and you can get a straight line without removing your brush from the nail. So just remember that this is just a guide, just to let you know, again, it's useful information to know, okay, what are these brushes? Things can be very overwhelming in this industry now. We have so many different types of products. But again, for the most part, I would recommend as a beginner getting a nice set of liner brushes. I do have some that I recommend. The ones that I use, the pink ones, you can find them on my Amazon storefront. The link is on my Instagram bio and down below in the description box if you want to check those out. Very affordable, very good. They've held me down for a while now. So these are something good. You get a striper brush and you get about 5 other different lengths of liner brushes and a detailer brush as well. Stay tuned for the next video because I'm going to be showing you some basic techniques that you can start to practice that once mastered, I think you'll be able to get this nail art thing down. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to tune in every day as I'm posting for Vlogmas, nail tips, tricks, tutorials, vlogs, and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.